Hello everyone, Southeast US Railfan Productions here, and welcome to episode 3 of Monthly Model Railroad News at a Recap. Without further ado, let's get started with Prairie Shadows. First up from Prairie Shadows, their HO scale 89-foot auto racks are in stock. Their HO scale PD 5000 hoppers are in stock. Their HO scale GP20C Ecos are in stock. Their HO scale Trinity 50-foot boxcars are in stock. Their N-scale St. Charles PSC cabooses are in stock. Their HO scale GP9Rs are on pre-order. Their HO scale Frall 5150 hoppers are on pre-order. That's everything from Prairie Shadows. Let's move on to Walthers. Moving on to Walthers, their HO scale Amfleet passenger cars were announced, of which it'll be available in Am Cafe, Amfleet 2 Lounge, and Dinette in Amtrak Phase 3, Amtrak Phase 5, and Amtrak Phase 7. Their HO scale NASA rocket booster train was announced. Their HO scale 50-foot 2-bay air slide covered hoppers were announced. It will be available in 3 road numbers, each of the following road names: Data Only, CSX, ADM, Denver and Rio Grande Western, BNSF, Rock Island, Chessie System with Chesapeake and Ohio reporting marks, Union Pacific, CCLX, and an undecorated model. Their N-scale oil loading platform was announced. Their HO scale pedestrian bridge was announced. Their HO scale spine cars are in stock. And finally, their HO scale coal order cars are in stock. That's everything from Walthers. Let's move on to Rapido Trains. Moving on to Rapido Trains, they're launching the HO scale Roger Williams, of which it'll be available in New York, New Haven, and Hartford Railroad, Penn Central, Amtrak patches, Amtrak Phase 1, and Amtrak Phase 3. They announced the HO scale B-class boxcars were announced, of which it'll be available in Great Northern. They announced a new run of HO scale Canadian flat cars. Their HO scale 53-foot well car and 53-foot containers were announced. Their HO scale and N-scale LRCs are on pre-order. And finally, their HO scale CF7s are going to be in stock now. That's everything from Rapido Trains. Let's move on to Bowser. Moving on to Bowser, their HO scale SD40s are still available. If anyone wants to know when was the first SD40 built, it was EMDX 434A, built in July 1964 in LaGrange, Illinois plant. It was the first locomotive with the 645 prime mover, and after testing, it went to Gulfmobile in Ohio, renumbered to 950, later ended up on the Illinois Central Gulf, renumbered again to 6071. Later it would be rebuilt to an SD40-2R and kept its number until 2009, sold to the Monticello Rail Museum where it's preserved. Anyway, back to the video. Their HO scale SD40-2Ws are limited in stock. And finally, their HO scale Alco RS Freeze still in stock. That's everything from Bowser. Let's move on to Moloco Trains. Moving on to Moloco Trains, their HO scale BCF 50-foot boxcars are in stock. Their HO scale 50-foot XM 15-2 double slider CTA boxcars are in stock. And finally, their HO scale 50-foot high cube boxcars are in stock. That's everything from Moloco Trains. Let's move on to Atlas. Moving on to Atlas, their O scale ES44 ACs are in stock. Their HO scale AEM 7s are limited in stock. And finally, their O-scale 70-foot streamline passenger cars are limited in stock. That's everything from Atlas. Let's move on to Athearn. Moving on to Athearn, their HO scale SD80 MACs are still on pre-order. Their HO scale SD70 ACEs from 2023 are going to be in stock soon. Their HO scale GP38-2s are about to be in stock. They did a Train Tuesday on their HO scale SD70 series. And finally, their HO scale AC4400 CWs are still on pre-order. That's everything from Athearn. Let's move on to Bachmann. Moving on to Bachmann, their HO scale American 2/5 American Freedom train set is in stock. Their HO scale Dreyfuss Hudsons are in stock. Their 2026 catalog is in stock. And finally, their HO scale Phase 7AM fleets are going to be in stock in 2027. That's everything from Bachmann. Let's move on to Broadway Limited Imports. Moving on to Broadway Limited Imports, their HO scale Union Pacific 4884 Big Boy was announced. Their HO scale 460 G5s were announced. And finally, their N-scale USRA 282 McAutos are still on pre-order. That's everything from Broadway Limited Imports. Let's move on to Kato USA. Moving on to Kato USA, their N-scale SD70Ms are still in stock. Their HO scale Amtrak Viewliner sleepers are still in stock. And finally, their N-scale Pioneer Zephyr are still on pre-order. That's everything from Kato USA. Let's move on to Scale Trains. Moving on to Scale Trains, they announced a new run of HO scale GP30s. Their N-scale ES44 ACs were announced. Their HO scale 60-foot high cube boxcars were announced. Their HO scale 52-foot Frall gondolas were announced. Their HO scale 60-foot 75 high cube boxcars were announced. Their HO scale SD38s are in stock. Their HO scale ES44 ACs are in stock. Their N-scale GP40s are in stock. Their N-scale Gunderson 3250 cover toppers are in stock. And finally, their HO scale Wabtec AC44C6Ms are going to be in stock in July of 2026. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in another video.